When you think about the Netherlands, what do you think about?
Clogs?
Bikes?
Windmills? Well,
Stroopwafels?
Stroopwafels.
Come with us today on an adventure to Rotterdam in the Netherlands.
Don't mess my hair up.
I'm making it better. Hi everyone, welcome to Learning Brave. I'm Skylar.
And I am Ross.
And today we are taking you on an adventure with us to the Netherlands. So the Netherlands was a place we kind of never thought we would go to. And
That's true. It's
the
true.
winding path of life took us there. And we were lucky to go there because we had friends that we could stay with because it's like really expensive. But
Yeah.
we discovered lots of hidden treasures about this amazing place. So we want to take you with us now on an adventure to this really cool place.
And today we're going to be mainly focused on things that we did around the Rotterdam area, where we lived for about 3 weeks?
Couple of weeks?
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks. And it was fun. Lots of fun things.
So the first thing we noticed about the Netherlands was like the traffic.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is yours.
Yeah.
Take it away, Ross.
Okay. So I'd already driven around other parts of Europe, but once arriving in the Netherlands, I realised...
Like, wait, we tackled the Autobahn.
Yes,
So-
no problem.
That was terrifying. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, but we got that down pat. Well, no problem there. We'd braved the mountain roads of France, and then we...
Yeah, so you as a driver were feeling pretty confident.
I was feeling pretty good. Yeah, I was feeling pretty good about things.
Until the Netherlands hit you for a six.
Oh my goodness. I remember driving into the Netherlands. It was pouring with rain, and I remember that it was just... I thought, what am I in for here? Because it was just a lot more cars. Everything was sort of...
Tight.
Yeah, everything was tighter. Everything was all jam-packed together a little bit more. And so when we were in Rotterdam, I remember that, the biggest challenge in driving in the Netherlands, and I mean, don't even get me started on Amsterdam, but let's start with Rotterdam. That was almost as bad. Is that not only when you get to an intersection do you have to look for cars, but literally I would come to an intersection and go, okay, bike path, look for bikes.
And bikes are like...
Sorry.
fast.
Before the bikes, look for pedestrians. Fine, I'd inch forward a little bit. Then there's a bike path. Look for bikes. No bikes. Okay, inch forward. Now the trams. Okay, any trams? No. And then finally, you would then look for the cars. There were 4 things.
And then you'd repeat that on the other side of the road.
Oh
right?
man, it was like...
Yeah.
I just felt like I was like jump starting and touch and
And
go
like
the whole time.
desperately trying to not accidentally hit someone who would come. Like the bikes would like fly out of nowhere. They were like a law unto their own. People ride bikes in the Netherlands with confidence.
They are the rulers of the road.
Yes.
The bikes in the Netherlands.
So, as a driver who's a foreigner, we were like, oh,
Yeah, it was...
don't want to hit anyone.
It was very different, and but we got used to it after a couple of weeks.
So,
but it certainly was a shock when we first got there.
if you managed to finally get into Rotterdam after all of that stress, it's probably better to ride in.
You're good.
But if you manage to do that, there's some pretty cool things to do in Rotterdam. We challenge you that by the end of it, you won't be dying to one day go to Rotterdam.
Oh yeah. So like always, the first thing that we like to do is taste of some of the local fare.
Eat food.
AKA eat the food.
Spaghetti. Let's hear the good spaghetti. Me hear me.
Eat food. It's like a top priority.
Number 1, you got to do that first.
Traveling, you learn a lot about yourself. I discovered that I will go to extraordinary lengths to eat something really good.
Oh yeah.
like suffer and like put up with like bad living conditions or like frustrating travel or whatever just so I can eat a particular thing.
Well, we often tell people there are 3 reasons we travel: the experiences, the culture, and the food.
He forgot about the culture.
The culture. How could I
That
forget
too.
about that? So anyway, we decided the best thing to do was have our friends guide us down to the local market.
Yeah, but this isn't any market.
No.
Like this is like the market, the world market from your dreams.
It's the market of all markets.
Yeah, food market of all markets. It's called the food hall, and there are just like cuisines from all over the world.
Smack in the middle of Rotterdam. We actually, I remember, we rode there. We rode there
Yes,
on
we did.
bikes. And I remember because our friend had this bike that at the back of the bike was this huge like wooden box.
Oh, it's called something.
Wasn't
It's
it called a buck feet or buck something?
Buck feet. Or
Something like that. I can't remember. We'll have to look that one up. But so I remember our friend riding this bike, and she had like half the kids. Now they had what, 4 kids? We had 5, and some of us could ride on our own, and others were packed in the back of this sort of the box at the back of the bike. And I'm not talking, I know you guys are thinking, well, what's that? But I'm talking a huge box. It fit about what, 5 kids?
Yeah.
And our poor friend's like, she's struggling along, and I'm
like
thinking,
in my blog, I
wow.
talk about how like people who live in the Netherlands have like thighs of steel.
Oh yeah.
Hello and welcome to Thighs of Steel, one of our aerobic and leg-shaping workouts.
That's why they're good bike riders. They always in the Tour de France, they do really well.
And bike paths are amazing there. Like if you're riding in the Netherlands, you have your own traffic lights separate to the car traffic lights. Like bike paths are like its own division of life.
Which is cool. So I remember riding there with our whole families, and we arrived at the market hall, and we went inside, and one of the first things that we tried, which is sort of our number one must do if you travel to the Netherlands.
Stroopwafels. We will butcher every language on this channel.
Now,
Welcome.
Stroopwafel actually had been immortalized in our family because of a movie called The Best 2 Years.
Yeah, so we were geared up to eat Stroopwafels. So we went to the market hall, and we had fresh Stroopwafels where they make them in front of you with like freshly made waffles and warm melty caramel.
Oh man.
Put it together, and then they hand it to you. And you eat it. That's a dump.
Oh, that's right. I remember a Dutch word. Dankjewel.
Dankjewel.
Yeah, thank you.
And anyway, so Stroopwafels, warm caramel wafer, can't go wrong.
Dankjewel. That's it. Hey, get back here. I told you not to do that. Oh,
So
lots of good stuff.
we were
Now, not all Stroopwafels are made equally. You can go to a supermarket and buy them in, bags. They're okay. There is nothing better than a freshly made Stroopwafel from the market hall in Rotterdam.
So right around the corner from the market hall, while we were eating our fresh Stroopwafels, we were able to see something called the Coop Houses. So in Rotterdam are these weird houses that are like shaped like cubes on point,
Yeah, like
and they're yellow
they're cubes
and
just
they're
tilted.
stacked up. It's like looking at a modern painting,
Yeah.
but it's real.
And people live in them.
Yeah, people live in them. So like we wandered around these strange yellow cubes. It was like a forest of yellow cube trees.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember. Did they go to the ground, or were they on
No, they're on like
poles?
trunks.
Almost like trunks.
And then
yeah.
like you can actually tour one, and we didn't want to take like 25 kids in there. So I went in by myself.
You did.
Yeah, and so inside,
Just one of the many
I just-
things she
I-
got to do on her own.
I was dying to see like if your house is shaped like this, like where does the bed go?
Where's the bed go? How do you use it? Where's the shower? And
Well, yeah, I mean, they flattened it out, but there were like pokey weird corners and windows on angles, and it was cool. Like, I don't know.
certainly probably the sort of house that you want to be in if you were like single or a couple. Probably not with a family.
No, not with like 5 kids, but I don't know if I'd want to live in one. But it was pretty interesting to see. Like, the Netherlands felt like a place of like different ideas, and like a lot of artists came from there, and it's just, I don't know, it's a cool place. So,
Yeah.
so Rotterdam. there's
And
lots of
that
things-
was just across like from the main square from
Yeah,
the
that's
market
just across
hall.
from the market hall.
Yeah.
So these amazing cube squares, and you've got your bike riding experience and Stroopwafels, and it's a really cool place.
That's good.
So moving on from, well, staying with our bike theme today.
Yeah, just outside of Rotterdam is a very famous area called Kinderdijk.
So this is the thing that you need to see in the Netherlands. If you're dreaming about travel, or you just want to come traveling with us, this is like what you imagine when you think about the Netherlands.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like adorable windmills on a like a river.
Yeah, like bike paths on the side.
Yeah.
You can.
People wearing clogs.
Were there? I
Well,
can't
there were
remember.
like clogs like that you could try on outside.
Yeah,
the
that's
windmills.
true. That's true. Yeah, and it's a bit of a cultural experience too, because outside you can go inside the windmills and you can see what life would have been like for people that lived in the windmills and run them.
So we were like, all right, we have failed at some world schooling adventures so far, but this one is going to be a success. And I think it was. I think the difference, we learnt this like really meaningful life lesson, but I think the difference was we went in with this viewpoint of like, not desperate to succeed, but like understanding that things will go wrong and we're just going to make it a good day anyway.
Yeah.
Like we were so grown up.
So grown up. So glad we went in with that attitude.
Oh, because we really needed it.
We did need it. So we began first of all by picking our bikes and hiring our bikes at the beginning of the trail, and that was a bit of an ordeal in and of itself.
We have to add a little caveat here. Like,
Yeah, sure.
So we had neglected one of our parental duties.
Of teaching one of our children how to ride a bike properly.
Yes, but in our defense, she didn't want to, and like every time we tried, she would like crack it and throw the bike and be like, I hate this, and like just refuse. And so
I did before we left Australia, I did manage to get her riding in a straight line for about 20 meters or so, and that was an achievement.
So we were like, this is such an iconic, beautiful
She'll be
thing to
fine.
do as a family. I want to ride together, all together, on the Kinderdijk past the windmills, but we have this child who couldn't ride a bike. We thought, we'll just start out, we'll give her a lot of self-confidence.
Yeah. So we did all the
You can
right
do it.
stuff.
You can do it.
You're amazing.
You did ride that one straight line, you'll be fine.
Good, you'll be
But like,
good.
there's no cars or anything here. It's just this straight, flat path. You'll be fine.
So we get past sort of the car parking area where the buses are lined up, and then we get past and we start on the trail.
Well, we walked our bikes to the
Walk that
beginning.
way. And then we're like, okay,
Get
kids,
on.
Gilbert family, let's go have a great adventure. So everybody left and went off, except for me and my daughter, and she rode about 10 meters and completely
And then
crashed
veered off and crashed into a
the
bush.
side of the bushes, dumped her bike, and stormed off saying, I'm not gonna do
I'm
this.
not doing this. And at which point we're like,
Oh,
all right,
man.
let's go back to our inner zen and remember that life's about experience.
So I ended up taking one of the bikes back, and I told my daughter, that's fine. You are going to need to ride on the front of my bike. And so that's what happened.
Yeah, so I had a baby strapped to me at the front of me while I was trying to balance my bike.
All the other
And
kids are riding.
We had a little 5-year-old. He could ride a bike. Okay.
Sort of.
And then a couple other kids. And then Amira, our daughter, was like, she was how old? 10. And she had to perch on the front of Ross's bike.
So
She's
and she
pretty
wasn't
heavy.
small. She's a pretty big girl. So here I am, wobbling along with this girl. And then she starts complaining, oh, my bottom hurts every time you go over a bump.
So we're riding along and like because like I had my baby and trying to keep him asleep and keep, like we both were pretty occupied. So we
Yeah.
couldn't really like manage the other kids that were riding. And every now and then I'd look ahead and our 5-year-old who loved riding a bike, but he was
Out of control.
Yeah, he was enthusiastic, but
Out of control.
out of control. And so he would be like hooning along like
Yeah.
this path and like swerving and weaving down this path, and there's like other riders trying to come back the other way. And he's like knocking him out the way.
Yeah, like from the back, I'm looking ahead in the bike path, and I can sort of see him swerving in and out, and people just going off the trail either side because they didn't want to hit this crazy kid that was coming their way. It was like
It's like, look out, Dutch people, the Gilberts are coming through.
It's crazy. Anyway, I think after a while we got the hang of it. After many yelling, Rushton, stay on the right side.
Yeah. Stop running people over.
We finally got there, and it was a good day. We travelled to many of the windmills, and we went inside and checked them out, and it was really cool.
Like Ross was saying, you can go in and they're these like live museums, so you can see how people used to live inside the windmills and try clogs on, and it was like hands-on learning. It was awesome.
And to top off the day, this was the cool part. To top it all off, on the way back, we went past one of the bridges, the many bridges, and everybody was jumping off into the canals, and so we stopped and stripped off and jumped in. And
We did not.
Yeah, we did.
You just made that up.
We jumped in the canals. Yeah, we did. There was a bridge that went over the thing, and me and Levi jumped in, and we jumped in like everyone else.
I have no memory of this.
Oh my dear. Crazy stuff.
So we encourage you to get out there and have adventures, and please try and learn from our mistakes. So our day was super imperfect. Like, we had one child give up, and the baby ended up waking and crying, and the other one was like trying to like
knock off all the Dutch people. But because of our attitude, we were able to have a really good experience, and it's like this really happy memory to us of this day that we had riding along the windmills in the Netherlands. It's like this beautiful memory that we will have forever as a family. But it wasn't perfect, but it was like our attitude was perfect. Yeah, it was a good day. We had Stroopwafels. We got to see a bit of Dutch culture, and we had a great experience. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, so the Netherlands is incredible. There are so many beautiful, amazing places around the world. And my favorite thing to do is like go to a new place that I don't know much about, and I never thought I'd go there, and then like discover all this cool stuff that I didn't know before. So get out there, have some adventures, adjust your attitude to be a bit like, might not be perfect, but I can just make it as good as possible and laugh. Pretty much. We managed to laugh at it instead of like stressing.
We still are, 4 years later.
Yeah, it's still hilarious. So, yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, see ya.
Bye.
Rotterdam.
Oh, don't start with that. Seriously. This is the way Skylar starts her YouTubes. Rotterdam.
I think that's good.
Rotterdam. Rotterdam. In the Netherlands.